All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Baseball Diaries. We have some news and notes to go through before we get into our NL and AL teams and how the week is going so far. So, news and notes. First item on the list: Joe Buck is going to call one more Cardinals game when they play the Cubs next weekend. I'm assuming that's going to be Sunday Night Baseball.
I'm assuming as well. I looked like at this briefly because normally what I do to prepare for news and notes, because now that we're in the heart of bar prep, I'm going to be a little rusty on my day-to-day news. So what I do is I just type in news on MLB news on Google, and then I see some, and then if I am reminded of something, I'm like, oh, cool, there we go. Yeah, it doesn't say. I don't think it's what day it is, but I'm assuming it's Sunday Night Baseball.
Which will be better than the normal Sunday Night crew.
True, but which is bad because I don't like Joe Buck, but he is responsible for probably my favorite call ever.
We will see you tomorrow night.
Yes, the David Freese walk-off home run and Game 6 of the World Series versus the Rangers. That's my favorite call of all time because I got to witness it live. Well, not live in person, but like on television.
Yeah.
If I would have witnessed it live, I probably wouldn't be around anymore. There's no way. I was only, I was 15 at the time. Yeah, 15 at the time. I would have had my first beer that night, and I would have gotten absolutely shithoused and probably died of alcohol poisoning.
Probably.
But the reason I don't like him is the Jack Buck situation. Jack Buck was the announcer for the Cardinals for what felt like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Joe Buck decides to go all corporate and leave the Cardinals, and yeah, I have my personal reasons for not liking him, but either way, still gonna be cool to have him, I guess, do the announcing for a day.
He's a better baseball announcer than he's a football announcer. So
yes, agree with that 100%. He's good. He's not bad with baseball. Football, oh my god.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help when he's in the booth with Troy Aikman and they're drinking like entire handles of tequila on shots.
True.
Which they have said, so that is not a libelous statement.
Like, why can't they get like more? I think the MLB needs to get more of the like team like legends announcing some, or at least like guest announcing, like get Poppy for Boston. I'm sure he's already done that. I'm sure
he has.
But like I think that needs to happen more. Because
I think last night was it Wednesday night?
Yeah.
God, bar prep's thrown me in a blender in terms of time.
Same.
But
and I'm not even fully on board yet. I still got till Saturday till I graduate. Yeah,
I'm all in it right now. So I'm letting you know right now, it ain't fun. It is not fun. I've started. I am a couple days ahead, but technically I'm several months ahead. I took the bar prep class just to
same here,
get into it. But the Braves last night, because I finished watching the Phillies game, which was something. We'll get into that later. But the Braves had their group broadcast of Jeff Francoeur, Chipper Jones, and I want to say Tom Glavine.
Yeah,
and some other guy. And it's a cool broadcast. Yeah, it is entertaining. And I think more teams should do something like that because the Phillies have guys come in the booth, but they don't call the game. Schmidt comes in the booth every Sunday for home games. Utley will visit every once in a while. I don't know if Jimmy's ever actually been on the broadcast. I know Ryan Howard, I think, has been once or twice.
He went to the same high school my dad did.
Shout out the Big Piece and your dad. But yeah, I think
my dad would also like to be known as the Big Piece, I'm sure.
When your dad hits 400 home runs, then he can have the Big Piece.
Oh, he'll say he's got a big piece art right now.
Oh, God. I love the soundboard so much. Yeah. But yeah, so the Cubs won that game. They won 7-1, really helping my Phillies out. Shout out the Cubs for that, but they also, I don't think, won the series, so not shout out the Cubs for that. Just, Braves hate watching, always good, except for when they're actually winning, then it's annoying. And then I won't watch them because then it's bad hate watching, and I don't like being around it.
It was
But
hysterical watching my dad hate watch the Cardinals this week. Oh my god, it was so funny. We're watching the Angels, and he's actively rooting against our own team, and I am too. Not gonna lie.
yeah,
Like I'm actively because I just want to burn it down, and right now they're not burning it down. So
yeah.
and of course, Cardinals Twitter turned around immediately, seeing 2 wins against the Angels,
Oh God.
and I
Yeah,
wanted to blow my
great
fucking
one.
brains out.
Especially one where they tried to put on a suicide squeeze in that
Yeah,
game. Which
yeah,
I mean, you know what? Let's jump over the one.
yeah. Let's do it.
Ron Washington completely threw Luis Guillorme under the bus.
And ran him over.
Yeah, it was ugly because he had him throw a bunt on against Jojo Romero, who's been solid. Like,
He's been
admittedly,
great, yeah.
he's been very good, but he was wild that game.
Yeah,
like
he was.
he
and
threw.
he can be wild. Like that's his one
Well,
issue.
he's a former Phillies reliever too. I know he can be.
True.
I think you got him in the Sosa trade, and Sosa's been solid.
So.
Sosa's been
He's got
solid.
a 900
for us.
OPS for you guys.
Yeah.
Which you guys are platooning him, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he plays when we give Bohm, Trey, or Stott rest.
Yep.
And so, 900 OPS from a bench player, you're always going to take that. And he's got a great glove, but
and that's how he was with the Cardinals. He had a great glove, but like hitting wise was terrible.
We've actually kind of gotten some pretty good production. He had a career high in home runs last year for us.
I know.
And Kevin Long effect.
No, the Cardinals trading away a player effect.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so he had them. I couldn't understand it because JoJo was off that night. He threw 31 pitches, only 15 strikes, and like he had Luis Guillorme. This was I don't know if it was on Talkin' Baseball or something, or Foul Territory. It was one of those really big podcasts where they're like, that wasn't even a safety squeeze bunt he was having him throw down. It was a suicide squeeze.
Yeah,
like, you weren't going to get a run. You were going to get everyone else over, and you were going to have 2 outs.
Yeah.
And JoJo threw a slider low and away, and Zach Neto went anyway to home plate. And the catcher, I think it was Ohapi, got it and tagged Neto out. And it was just like, why are you signaling the bunt there?
Yeah.
Like, let the guy walk you.
Yeah.
You were what, down 1 run?
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, well, it's his fault. He didn't execute. It's like, no one's going to bunt a slider that's in the right-handed batter's box.
No.
No one can do that.
Yeah, the Ron Washington situation, I like Ron Washington, obviously. Like, you can't hate the guy, but this is a poor take on his behalf. And what's crazy is, like, he's been a manager before. This is not foreign to him. Like, people are acting like this is the first time he's ever managed. No, this is not the first team he's ever managed. He managed the Rangers in 2011 when they went to the World Series. Like, he's done it before, and he's been around clubhouses literally his entire life. So I
just didn't get it. Like, saying, oh, he didn't execute. I would love to see Ron Washington find me a player who was hitting from the left-handed side, who could bunt a low and away slider, fair, and get a run home. Because there's no one that's capable of that. Like, that pitch would have hit most right-handed batters.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know how you. It's like, yes, he didn't execute. No one can execute that.
Yeah.
No one can.
His exact words were, he didn't do the job. But he couldn't do the job. Like,
it was impossible. It was an impossible task. And you know what? Whatever. I don't know if he'll get better at that. I hope he will, because it's not like managing a clubhouse is a lot of things, and having the players on your side is a big part of that. And like, Luis Guillorme's been there less than a week, and he probably is already like, damn, I get no support from this guy. Like, dude, you need everyone on board if you're rebuilding this team. And early returns are not good. So
no, not at all. I mean, we'll get into. So I'll just announce it now. We're not going to do hot or not this week. We're going to replace that because we said earlier in the season that right around about a quarter way through the season, halfway through the season, 3/4 of the way through the season, and end of the season, we're going to do ratings for each team A to F as if it was grade school. So that's gonna be the end of the episode when we get there. Want to hear a weird one? I'm just googling. I've just looked up Ron Washington because I was curious to see what I mean. Because literally every outlet is saying that Ron Washington's in the wrong on this one, and this one says Ron Washington's post-game rant is just more proof the Cardinals should fire Ollie Marmol. And
okay,
that's reference to basically Ollie calling out Tyler O'Neill last year. Last year? Yeah, last year. And then also with Paul Goldschmidt, he kind of calls him out a little bit as well. So it's like I see what they're getting at. They're basically saying like Washington's getting all this bad press for just completely calling out his player throwing his player under the bus, and Marmol has done that on several occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't. Obviously, the Angels aren't going to do anything about it. Most likely.
Well, I don't.
And I'm not saying they should
fire him. Yeah, no, I don't think.
And I don't think I don't think they should do anything about it. I mean, the only thing I could say is like maybe the GM behind closed doors pulls them aside. It's like, hey, maybe don't throw players under the bus.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause that's just a brutal look, and the player's gonna feel like garbage because you just said, yeah, well, he can't do the job. It's like, okay, well, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel like the manager has literally no faith in you. Yep. I mean, and that's a tough spot to be in. You don't want to, even if you're not the best player on the team, you don't want to feel like the manager has zero faith in you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know what else to say to that.
Same here.
It's like it's just a brutal look, especially for a not a first year manager, but
first year of the Angels.
A guy who his first year managing the Angels, and you're just like, this is a guy you want to essentially take you into the future, and that's why you hired him.
Well,
and he's
and you want to see him
giving you a ton of faith right now. I mean, I don't think they're losing faith, but at the same time, like, it's just a bad look.
Yeah, and like the reason you brought Ron Washington is because he gives a leadership role. He's been known as a leader, and that's what you want. But leaders don't just throw players under the bus.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying he's going to continue to do that. I don't think he will. I have a feeling he's going to learn from this mistake a little bit, and start to, I guess, humble himself a little bit.
I hope so.
With that, I guess we can move on. Kevin Pillar becomes the 20th active member of the 100 Club. 100 stolen bases, 100 home runs. I did not, I thought there'd be a lot more people on this list, honestly. The names that are on this list are pretty insane. It's Acuna Jr., Altuve, Baez, Betts, Blackmon, Goldschmidt, Harper, Hayward, Francisco Lindor, Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Tommy Pham, Kevin Pillar, Jose Ramirez, Gene Segura, Marcus Semien, Gene the Hit Machine, Marcus Semien, Trevor Story, Mike Trout, Trey Turner, Christian Yelich. That's it. Like, oh, hang on. I misread that tweet. Becomes the 20th active.
Yeah, active.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, what? Yeah. There's no way. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And I was like, how? Either way, 100. I mean, I thought there'd be more on the active list. Honestly, I'm actually shocked. I thought there'd be some pitchers on that list. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Max Fried.
Wait. Also, I think they're missing. Wait, how in the hell is Shohei Ohtani not on that list?
Maybe he hasn't stolen as many bags? I don't know.
Maybe.
It has to be the only reason.
I'm looking it up now to see if I disagree with this list. I highly doubt I disagree with it because it came from Baseball Reference. So, yeah, he's 5 short of the 100 list.
Okay, well, you see, that makes sense. They probably haven't, I don't know if they restricted his stealing in Anaheim. They might have.
I'm sure they did, to a certain extent. I mean, last year stole 20 bags, stole 26 bags in 2021, 11 in 2022. So
He'll
he's
be
still,
on that list
yeah,
soon.
he'll be on that list this year. I mean, he's already got 9 stolen bases this year.
Yeah,
So
no, he'll be on the list soon, but as of right now, he's not.
yep, shocking.
Last little bit of news and notes: Ronel Blanco was suspended for 10 games. Me and Tyler both agree with this. If you have it's like, oh yeah, he's using like something that is totally banned. Fine, but release it. Tell us what it was.
Yeah.
And right now, like it could be the same thing as the Max Scherzer situation last year, where it was just sweat and rosin.
Yep.
And what happens when it gets hot? You start sweating more.
They're playing
rosin.
in Houston too, which is the stickiest place possibly on earth. Like that, it's so humid down there. And
allow me to introduce Florida.
Yeah, true. I think that's the only place that would compete with as sticky as it is in Houston. Houston is sticky, and I mean, JP Sears had already. Or no, was it JP Sears? I think I don't remember.
Sears, I think, was pitching against him that day, so I think you're right.
And he'd already sweat through a jersey that day. Like it's
shout out Fanatics, baby.
Yeah, it gets you're gonna sweat a ton in Houston. That's just how. I mean, you wake up there and you're sweating. Like it's all you do in Houston because it's so sticky. And then you mix that with rosin, and now you have a sticky substance. And I just a lot of people are on Twitter bashing, saying Ronel Blanco's a cheater, blah blah blah. The Astros organization, they're all cheaters, blah blah blah. And I think that this is not an incident where you can say for sure he was cheating. If they come out and they find that it was spider tack, sure, fine. You can say he was cheating. When it's even just sunscreen and rosin, because what do you like? You can't tell players don't use sunscreen. Like, okay, go get skin cancer. Like that's not what you can tell players. So that would
be a wild thing to say to players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and this is yet another reason why they should have the pre-tack balls. Because pre-tack balls, you get rid of all substances. And now any substance you use is an illegal substance. Okay, fair. But also
solves
pitchers can grip
problem.
the ball.
Players' arms aren't going to explode.
Players' arms don't explode. Everyone can grip the ball. No sticky substance. If you get caught with a sticky substance, bang, you're gone. Like, it's easy. Like, it's an easy fix that
it is an easy fix.
And they, for some reason, refuse to do so. They do it in other countries. Japan does it right now. Like,
they're not tossing pitchers for using sticky stuff.
No, exactly. So it's just a weird thing that Ronel Blanco, he's getting they're saying a 10-game suspension. On Twitter, he's avidly defending himself, saying that it's because he threw a no-hitter, because they just don't like him, whatever. Like, and
because they don't like the organization, blah blah blah.
I don't know if I believe that. I think in my opinion, it's just what happens when you have human beings telling if something is sticky or not. I mean, Dallas Braden said it best. He's the one who told us how to cheat in baseball using sticky stuff.
Yep.
And what's sticky to one person is not sticky to another. Some people, like myself, I get a little bit of honey or syrup on my hands. I'm immediately washing my hands because I'm so uncomfortable I can't even stand it. Other people are just like, this is how it is normally. Like, I have sticky stuff on my hands always. Like, I'm sure people who work at or not a honey factory, a maple syrup factory, they're probably constantly feeling sticky. And they probably don't mind. I shouldn't say they don't mind, but like their feeling of what's going to be sticky is going to be vastly different than what mine is.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's subjective. Like that's the problem with having a subjective test. Like you're going to have some people that are like, "Oh, this is the stickiest substance I've ever seen," and others who are like, I mean, it felt like rosin to me. So that's the problem. So I don't think anybody's per se at fault, other than personally, I'd say the MLB. The MLB itself is at fault for not having pre-tack balls and making yet another issue. Yeah.
That's all for news and notes. You want to get into your NL team right now?
Might as well. That's
how it always starts.
Yeah. The Cardinals won 2 out of 3 against the Angels, losing last night to them. And Lance Lynn had a terrible fucking start and raised his ERA to, I believe, a 4.
I thought it was 4.17.
Yeah, I think it's 4.17. Almost like there was a podcaster who ranted for basically an entire episode about how shitty Lance Lynn is and how he was pitching out his fucking ass. And within the month, he shows exactly that. I mean,
I think April 14th was the day of the rantisode.
And it is May 14th. It is
May
14th.
16th. It's May 16th.
Sorry, it is May 16th. I'm looking at May 14th because I'm an idiot. Yeah. So people on Twitter immediately after the Cardinals scored the 10 runs were like, "Oh, the offense is back, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "It's the fucking Angels. They suck so bad. Like they are
Everyone should be sweeping them."
Yeah, they should not win a game all season. If they win a game, that's bad news for your team, which they did win a game against the Cardinals. They won yesterday. I mean, it's just brutal how quickly the fans went from sell the team, get everything, blah, 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 to, oh, well, actually, we might be back. We won 2 games against possibly the worst team in fucking baseball.
Yep. Well, them or the White Sox, the Marlins.
Which we lost 2 games to the White Sox earlier this season. Literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Not great, brother.
Yeah, it's so there's no reason. I have the panic button already on for the Astros. The panic button has been on for me with the Cardinals since 2015, basically. I saw a tweet the other day, and I think I talked about it on the last episode, that since 2015, the Cardinals have won one series.
One playoff series.
Playoffs, yeah. They've won one. And I'm almost positive that was against the Padres. Padres in 2020, I want to say. Could be wrong.
I don't quite remember, but yeah.
I don't remember either because obviously it wasn't fucking memorable because the Cardinals haven't done anything memorable in the last decade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, panic button has been on. Cardinals still suck. I just can't wait for what? I'm going to give it until June 14th. That also Kyle Gibson makes it back to making my rant that I had with my war that I had with Cardinals fans look exactly like I said it was going to be.
He's going to be demanding apologies.
Yeah, I will be demanding apologies to everybody on Twitter, everybody on Instagram. I still have the fucking the post is still up. So whenever it comes that Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson both suck again, I'm going to tag every single one of you fucks who said I was wrong and show, look at this. They suck just like I said they did. They're not the lucky pitcher with a 2 ERA still.
Yep. All right. So
as
we routinely do, time for me to pick up the podcast. Yeah. So the Phillies still hold the best record in baseball. They have won 3 so far in a 4-game series against the Mets. It's a home and home. Beat the Mets 5-4 in Citi Field. Then beat them 4-0 in Citi Field behind Aaron Nola. Yeah.
Happy Taijuan Walker start day.
I know. Scheduled loss, but we're playing in the Powder Blues, so that might change things.
Also, you're facing Katana, who's been trash this year, so.
Well, the thing is, Taijuan Walker, since being back, actually hasn't been awful. He's been a 5, which is... I mean,
fine.
We paid him more money than you pay to a 5, but I mean...
Phillies have paid a lot of people more money than they have to. I mean, honestly.
That's what happens when ownership cares.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't taking a stab at you. I was just saying.
I know. No. There have been some bad investments over the years, but the Walker one, all right, whatever. If he's making a couple starts and say we're still winning the games, I'm not going to be pissed off. If he's making terrible starts, I'm going to be like, why are we scheduling a loss every 5th day?
Well, especially when you have Christopher Sanchez and Spencer Turnbull, who are doing they're pitching at basically ace level, and
yeah. Sanchez did get roughed up a bit last night, but it wasn't really his fault. There were a couple errors in the field. Johan Rojas overran a ball in the outfield. He made 2 very uncharacteristic errors for a guy who had 15 defensive runs saved last year, and Turnbull got assigned 3 earned runs. I really think he only should have been given 1.
Yeah.
Because it was it wasn't his fault that the runner scored. He was pitching fine, and then it just kind of that just spiraled because Rojas dropped a ball he normally catches.
Yeah.
We're giving Rojas a day off today. Pache starting in center field. The Phillies just announced their lineup. Let me see. Schwarber leadoff, Real Muto.
I'm sure Stott's not in the lineup, or Marsh.
Marsh is actually playing today. Stott's getting the day off. Yes, because Stott's played every day for like the last week and a half.
Pussy.
So,
no, I'm just kidding. No, that's just a baseball. That's just at baseball in general now because for some reason everybody has to have days off. Minus,
yeah.
I think Marcus Semien was the only player in baseball to play every single game last year.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I will say this. I did make a mistake. I said Austin Riley had oblique injury history. I think he's probably tweaked it once or twice, but it's never kept him out for an extended period of time. I was thinking of Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy's had bad oblique problems.
He has.
And I mean, that haunts this year. Darno's been catching so much because
of the
lo and behold, he hurt his oblique again. But yeah, Austin Riley
which makes for an interesting conversation with Sean Murphy's future, because Sean Murphy is a good hitting catcher, but he's not a great hitting catcher. So it's almost like, what do you do if later in the future he can't really catch often because he keeps just getting hurt? Yeah. And that sucks because, like, in Sean Murphy's case, do you move him to first base? But
you've already got Matt Olson.
You can't move. I mean, obviously with Matt Olson you can. Do you move him to DH? And it's like, he's not good enough to be a DH, like a good enough hitter to just be a straight DH.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a weird theory with him if he continues to have this problem.
Yeah. And so I made that mistake because I saw a tweet that Austin Riley had played 5 straight seasons with 159 games minimum played. So I was like, okay,
he rarely is ever hurt.
Yeah. So my bad. I'll own up to that. I was thinking Sean Murphy, one of the other random similar-looking white dudes in the Braves lineup.
It's like the Braves and the Orioles just love to have their similar-looking white dudes on the same team for some reason.
See, the Phillies, all of us have like ridiculous levels of facial hair, so you can really tell those guys apart.
Minus Bryson Stott. Like, it's like everybody else's facial hair makes up for the fact that he has no facial. Well, I don't know what his beard looks like, or if he can grow one.
Like a little bit of something on his face, but it's not like he's pretty easy to be like, oh, that's
not
him.
The caveman himself.
Yeah, but yeah. So after Realmuto, it's Harp, then Bohm, Casti, Merrifield, Marshy, Sosa, and Pache. And JT just came back. He's driving the ball to the opposite field a lot this year, which is so nice to see because that's where his power mostly is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice and refreshing to see him doing that a lot now because, I mean, he needs to, like, in order to protect Harper, because, I mean, Bohm's been on a tear, so having him in a cleanup spot, I'm like,
that's been nice.
Just keep him there. Caskey's been looking better at the plate. He's laying off the down and away slider a lot more, so thank you.
Finally.
His overall slash line is still really brutal, but it's all right, it's whatever. Like, he's not hitting in like a premium spot.
No, he's hitting in the 8-hole, 7-hole, like it's
today he's in the 5 because it's Merrifield and then Marsh against a lefty. And so and Marsh, to be fair, has been pretty good against lefties this year. He hasn't been like, the Stott like split slash line where it's 282, 280, but he's
better than he's usually been.
Yeah, he's taking his chances, which you love to see as a fan. And then Sosa and Pache behind him, it's just like, okay, if you get any production out of those guys, you're happy. And Sosa has been producing.
Sosa's actually been really good. In fact, I'm going to look it up because
I think he's hitting like 309 with like the 9 something OPS.
Let alone, yet again, another Cardinal that traded away that turned into a fucking stud. 313 batting average. Holy fuck. This is just going to hurt me.
Yeah.
Why did I do this? He's got a 1 WAR already, which I think
and he's a bench player.
That may lead all of Cardinals right now in WAR,
Jesus.
honestly. You know what? I'm gonna hurt myself again. I'm gonna do it. He's got a 942 OPS, 3 doubles, 2 triples, a home run. I'm gonna do it.
This is gonna hurt.
I know it is. Oh no. Okay. We have one position player that has more WAR than him.
Oh,
And that
Jesus.
one position player has a broken fucking arm right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's Wilson Contreras. He's got a 1.8. Minus that, the closest is Nolan Arenado, which he's 0.9 on Fangraphs WAR, so probably about the same, but still.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I'm on Fangraphs. I'm looking at the Phillies WAR right now. Phillies WAR leader, Alec Boehm, 2.1.
Yeah, that's not shocking.
Ranger has 1.8. Wheels has 1.6. Harp has 1.6. Trey, who hasn't played in like 3 weeks at this point. Well, no, it's like 2 weeks.
It's been now too.
1.5. Stott's got 1.3. Sanchez 1.1. Nola 1.1. JT 1.0. And then you get into the guys who have below a 1, and that's Strom, Hoffman. Sosa has a 1. Marshy has 0.8. And then it's like, that's the thing. You go through this entire list, and all of our starters have a positive WAR, except for Merrifield right now. Merrifield has minus 0.2.
Hey, I think all of our starters have positive WAR too.
Very nice.
Yeah, they do. They do. Unfortunately, they shouldn't, but they do. Which
the hating will never stop.
How the hell does Lance Lynn have 0.2 WAR more than Andrew Kittredge? I call bullshit.
Yeah, I call bullshit
I
on that
understand
too. But
honestly, it's probably not. It might not be updated because I don't think it has yesterday's start on it.
Yeah, it probably doesn't because Fangraphs doesn't have Sosa's being above a 1 right now. It's at 0.9.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the Phillies last night played one of the sloppiest games I've ever seen, and they scored 10 runs. So
yeah, you'll love that.
Yeah, it was like such a sloppy game. Like, I mean, the weather conditions sucked. Like, it was raining for the first 3 innings. Ranger went only 5, and his command was off. But like again, raining all over the place.
Curveball.
Yeah, and he punched out 3. He wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't like what we've become accustomed to with him this year, but he has 8 wins now, and that was largely due to a 4-run 5th inning from the Phillies where we just lit up Lucchesi and they kind of left him out there to die. And if the Phillies have solved their bases loaded no outs issues, knocking on wood, because every time they've gotten a chance so far this year, they've scored a bunch of runs from those. And normally it had been like, you get 1 or 2, screw it, whatever. You at least got something. And right now it's like, I'm kind of expecting him to clear the bases and maybe only have 1 out. And so far, it's been very good. I mean, if you look at Bryce Harper's stats with he's been up with the bases loaded, I think 4 times this year. His OPS in those situations, 3.3.
Jesus.
Yeah. He's hit 2 grand slams. He had what I thought, I didn't disagree with JT going around third because, I mean, the stop sign that Dusty threw up at third was fucking crazy. Like, he was holding JT and waving Schwarber around. Schwarber was already at home plate, and JT was halfway down the line, and I'm like, you can't tell him to stop now. It's too late. He's gone. Like, and JT's faster than Schwarber, so why is he going to think you're stopping JT? Yeah. And I mean, like, he did make it close at the plate, but it was also like, whatever. It's 5-2 now, so screw it.
See, I love the detail that you can have by watching your team because, like, your each game detail because you actually get to watch like every single game. I mean, I shouldn't say I do get to watch the Cardinals every single game. Do I watch the Cardinals every single game?
Your eyes wouldn't be in your head.
No.
But
I mean, I could give you play-by-play of what happens in Cardinal, but I'm just gonna get upset and then I'm gonna start ranting again. And
then the Mets metted for a little while during that game, like throwing the ball all over the place. Lindor made a very uncharacteristic error, like got what should have been a double play and just dropped the ball.
Also, Suarez leads the MLB in wins right now.
Yes, he does. We know 8-0, and the next closest guy has 6. So keep that up, Ranger. His ERA is 1.37 because he didn't have a single earned run last night.
And has the lowest whip in baseball.
Yup. Dude has the lowest whip since 3 guys.
Jesus.
In history. Only 3 guys in history have done it. Yep. All of them pitched before 1910.
Yep.
So
Ranger also has the third best batting average against right now.
Yep.
What is going on? Like,
remember who
I
called
know
this?
you called. Okay, but you cannot look me in the eye and tell
No,
me
I
you
didn't
expected
expect this. No, not at all. I called the breakout. I didn't expect this.
If he would have had a 2.5, I would have been like, this is a breakout year for him.
Yeah.
Like, sub
But
2 is just like, what?
yeah.
LOL, I throw curveball. Like, that's all I can say.
And he does throw curveball. But the Phillies have the chance to sweep the Mets today. And then we go into a weekend series against the Nats, which I hope is 3 of 3. But, I mean, with the Nats, they're just pesky.
The Nats haven't been... Yeah, they haven't been terrible. They
haven't
been
been terrible. They're pesky, and that's why, like, I've been to plenty of Phillies Nats games growing up around the Nats, and I've been to Phillies Nats games in Citizens Bank Park, and the Nats are just annoying. Like, they're just annoying. That's what they are now. And I mean, like, they haven't been bad. They're talking about extending CJ Abrams.
I like it. I like it a lot.
No, that's a smart move because he looks like the gem of that Soto trade now. Will his powers numbers continue? I know they dived into it on Baseball is Dead. I don't think that's going to be his premium thing. I mean, he stole like 47 bags last year. So I think his speed is probably going to be the thing that plays the most for him. But, you know, I mean, if he keeps hitting home runs, screw it. You'll take that. Just lock him up so you can buy out arbitration years and not have to worry about it.
Exactly.
So, I mean, good for the Nats. I don't like you, but please don't be annoying this weekend.
You're a fucking Phillies fan. You don't like anybody.
That's true. And with that, you can get into your Astros.
So Astros right now, panic button is still on, so I'm going to hit the panic button. But I'm not as panicky as I was last episode. Because what they had been doing basically all season was losing games that they should be winning. But as of 4 games in a row, they've beaten teams that they should have. They beat the Tigers on Sunday, then they've won 3 against Oakland today, and they're going for the sweep today for a 4-game sweep of the Oakland, which that's what they need to do. I mean, and right now they need to continue doing that because if not, the panic button is going to continue to be on, and we're going to be talking about it.
You're currently playing catch up, so you gotta win everything you can.
Playing a lot of catch up right now, and I mean, there's still some upside with the Astros. I mean, that fucking Kyle Tucker, man.
Tucker.
God. Blood red baseball savant. Everything. Blood red. He has been bludgeoning the baseball. And
I think, is he tied or is he solo in MLB lead for homers now? Because I think he has 13.
I think he leads the MLB in homers. I looked it up 2 days ago, and he was leading in homers. Yes, he's leading the MLB in homers alone with 13 home runs. He's got a 1.0 OPS. All of his entire baseball savant page is completely blood red. He's been crushing the ball.
He's so damn good, dude.
I've said this for years at this point that Kyle Tucker is the most underrated player in baseball. Like,
he still is. No one's talking about him.
No one's talking about him because of what's going on with Juan Soto, what's going on with Gunnar Henderson. Like, nobody talks about him. Like, I've said it a billion times that he is the most underrated player in baseball.
Easily one of the best players in the game that no one discusses.
No.
And it's crazy to me. He is so freaking good.
Yeah.
So after the cheating scandal of course I hated the Astros. Kyle Tucker, I could never bring myself to hate. He's just so much fun to watch. He wasn't a part of it. He was drafted on the team. He was drafted prior, but God, is he so much fun to watch. And if his I don't remember who was discussing it earlier. There was if his bat stays at this level, he's essentially Jordan.
That was baseball's baseball.
I think it was baseball's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially Jordan, but playing amazing defensively. He plays great defense in right field.
The dude's a Gold Glover.
Mm-hmm. He might be. Is he a multi-year Gold Glove?
No, because he lost to Adelise last year.
Oh yeah,
you remember that was part of
the
very very limited argument.
The very very small argument that I had.
Yeah, no, we brought that up in our arbitration because we knew they were going to bring up Kyle Tucker. We were like, yeah, look, okay, so platform year, look at how good Annalise was. And it was like, career year is like, yeah, this isn't great. We know it's not great.
Yeah.
It was like everything strays to Kyle, and you're just like, well.
Yeah, you're
We
like,
did what we could.
Yeah. And of course, Kyle Tucker had to be the benchmark to lose an arbitration where we're like, oh, yeah, essentially the same player last year that lost an arbitration. It's the same guy, except for this one's Cuban. Like,
yeah.
that's
and
it.
I will never understand how he lost that damn hearing.
I will never.
I would love to pick the brains of the arbitrator that decided that.
Because here's the thing that I like. Because then we look at all the other players that you can compare Kyle Tucker to, and
he's better.
Yeah, like the only ones that were like that, like he was worse than, quote unquote, is like Aaron Judge. Like, yeah, and Aaron Judge got, what was it, $12 million? I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember.
Like
I'd have to go back and look at the
slides.
I'd
have to look at the spreadsheet.
Yeah. No, actually, I think it was 8 million. I think it was 8. No, it was 8.5. It was 8.5 million. Now I remember it was 8.5 million because Garcia was asking for 8, and I remember it was slightly over what Garcia got.
Because I think Tucker was asking for 7.5.
Yeah, and somehow he got screwed. I'll never understand that.
I will never get it. He's making Tucker, like 14 this year.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker currently is at 2.6 WAR, which would be second best in the American League, behind Bobby Witt Jr. That's it. Actually, and he's tied with Gunnar Henderson.
Well, that makes sense.
Sweet escape. Woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's been... The thing that sucks is he could continue this all season long, and I don't think he wins MVP.
No, I don't. He's not. His name isn't flashy enough.
No. For some reason, nobody gives Kyle Tucker the credit he deserves.
He could put up like an 8-WAR season, and they'd be like, well, was he really that good? And you'd look at the numbers, and it's like, oh, yeah, he was. However, Juan Soto.
Like, honestly, I think he would have to put up a Mike Trout season in his prime. Like, it would have to be a 10-WAR season, and then it'd be like, oh, well, all right.
Breaking news, Kyle Tucker decides to pitch.
He turns into Shohei Ohtani. His career OPS is an 863. Dude, do you know what his OPS plus is right now?
137.
187. Yeah. Which just shows you, like, people are going to say, like, oh, well, Houston's an easy park to hit in. First of all, it's not for lefties. It is for righties. Well, it is.
Crawford boxes are shorter, but
yeah. Exactly.
I mean, it's not the... I mean, Jordan makes it look easy, and Kyle does, too. Kyle also has some of the sickest bat flips I've ever seen. But
no one cares about his bat flips, though. He's just, like, I don't want to say boring.
I care about his back flips. They're so sexy.
I do. But, like, it's just, like, nobody really, like, for some reason, he just flies under the radar.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll never get it, but, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, a 187 OPS plus shows he's not just hitting the ball well in Houston. He's hitting the ball well in any stadium he wants to. He's one of the best players in baseball right now, possibly the best player in the American League right now, and
he's also one of the most consistent players.
Yeah, I mean, so since he's been a full-time player, basically, he pretty much became a full-time player in 2021. 20th MVP voting, 15th in MVP voting, 5th in MVP voting, and now this year. Like, consistently, he's an MVP caliber player.
If I had an MVP vote, I'd vote for him.
Yeah, right now, it would be tough to choose between him and Bobby Witt. It would be extremely tough.
It would be really tough, but
and Gunnar,
yeah,
and Juan Soto. I mean, it would be a tough sell. And I'll tell you right now, if season ended today, Juan Soto's your MVP.
Yeah,
it's like just based on biases, it's gonna be Juan Soto. And so I'm gonna compare right now. Juan Soto has 1.9 WAR in the same position, basically. Yeah. And significantly lower OPS. He's got a higher OBP, but lower slug, higher batting average, but I don't care. His OPS is yeah, exactly. He walks a shitload.
Yeah.
So me personally, I'd be going Kyle Tucker over Juan Soto, but I know that the bias would come in and everyone would say Soto won it, and then it'll be another season. It'll be another year of me bitching about who won the MVP, just like in 2019 with Cody Bellinger and Christian Yelich, and 2021 with Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. There's been several years I've
You're gonna
gone
go
on
on
rants.
another Dallas rant like you
Oh
did
yeah.
on episode 209.
That's pretty much what I'll do because that's what happens. Like,
Yeah.
it's they get it wrong way too often.
They do. With that, are you done with the Astros?
Yeah, I'm done with the Astros. I got nothing really to. I mean, like I said, panic button's still on, but it's starting to come up, and they need to do this. And right now is the time to do it because right now the best team in the division is the Mariners, and they got a 24-20 record. So
Yeah.
if there's ever a time to come back and get back into the race, it's right now. Right
Yeah.
now, you got to do it. And also, let me look who they're playing coming up because I'm pretty sure they have a pretty easy schedule coming up.
It's time to
If
get
I
back
wasn't
in the
mistaken,
hunt.
yeah, they play Milwaukee, who's been really good. But if you look on paper, I think if you were to say on paper who's better, the Milwaukee or Houston, everyone's going to go Houston. Then they play the Angels, then they play Oakland again, and then they go to Seattle. So if they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, if they can steal 7 of those games, that's what you need to do. They need to steal 7 of those games before they go into Seattle to play the Mariners because that's going to put them right back in the race.
Yeah. So now for my AL team, the
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Hold on.
Well, let me see if could be my headphones, could be talk real quick. I'm seeing sound coming out of yours, so it might not be.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Oh, so my Bose headphones just decided to fuck off again?
They might have. Because my headset's fully charged.
My headset's fully charged. I'm restarting them, so.
Gotcha. Well, this is going to be cut.
Okay. Any better?
I can hear you.
I can hear you now. Yeah, okay. We're good.
Well, that part's going to be cut.
No, I'm going to probably leave it in. It was like 3 seconds. Fuck it.
Yeah. All right, so...
It's not worth the editing.
Yeah. For my AL team, the M's, they took 2 out of 3 against the Royals. That's fine. The Royals are still hot as hell, so... series wins are series wins. You got to take them where you get them. They hosted the Royals, won 2 out of 3, 6-2, 4-2, and 4-2. Andres Munoz got a 5-out save in the last game. Now they have a tough 7-game stretch. They go to Baltimore, and then they go to Yankee Stadium.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my take from what I just said is exactly like that's why I said this could be the time. This is the time for the Astros to do it because if they're going into Baltimore and New York, and
you could realistically they could lose all 7.
Yeah, realistically they could, and if that happens,
if they go 3-4 in that, I'd be happy.
Yeah,
because that's tough.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
That's a tough series. That's a tough run.
Because Baltimore, I mean, look, yeah, they moved the wall back. Cry about it. Like, Jesus, just hit it in the gap. If you can't get a homer, hit it in the fucking gap. Like, that's the one thing that bugs me about that. It's like park dimensions change all the time. Quit bitching about the damn wall. Like,
yeah,
when we discuss the Orioles, we could talk about that later.
Yeah.
But like, that's tough. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the pitching matchups for that game. Okay, so it's not there, but I'll find it eventually. I had the what's it called? The standings pulled up to grade everyone, but I mean, yeah, they play Seattle. Seattle travels to Baltimore. They got Bryce Miller slated to start. They don't know who's start. Baltimore hasn't announced their starter yet. I also saw a crazy take I'm going to mention when we talk about the Orioles, but I mean, if they can take 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 7 in that stretch, fine, because then you play the Nats in a 2-game set in Washington. You take those 2, and then you go and play the Astros in a 4-game set at home. And then, okay, it's a 3-game set against the Nationals. So the logos look very similar for a second.
Yeah.
And then 3 games they host the Astros, and then 3 more games they host the Angels. So, no, it's a 4-game set against the Astros. Jesus, I'm mixing up everything right now. And then, 3-game set against the Angels, and then they travel to Oakland. So, like, you're going to be giving and taking ground through this, like, month. So you're just going to have to take the wins where you can get them and hope for the best because this division has been a shit show.
It has.
So,
I mean, as I don't think either of us predicted that the Centrals would be good and the West would be bad.
yeah, definitely not.
No.
Still, if we went back to our predictions podcast, it wouldn't even be close to correct.
No.
But, I mean, Kirby looks back, I'm going to knock on wood, because he was very good in his last start. Went 7. Don't think he gave up an earned run. Might have given up 1, but he was
been
good.
Weird this year. He's been either really good or really bad, and there hasn't been an in between.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm hoping he's just turned it around. Like
his
at
savant,
this point.
His savant kind of matches exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
Expected ERA is 3.04. Expected batting average against is
his expected
230.
ERA is a lot better than his current ERA.
Yeah, exactly. But then his whiff percentage is actually in the 37th percentile, which is shocking for him because
he
usually
brought back a cutter to mix in with his 2-seamer now. So that is his 7th pitch.
Well, yeah, 6 pitches this year.
Oh, well, he hasn't thrown the knuckleball yet. So when he does that,
knuckleball, yeah,
he has a knuckleball. He
That's
threw
a
it
weird one
when Wakefield died, and it was actually a pretty good pitch. So
and the cutter he's only thrown 6 times this year.
Yeah, he brought it back this
last
week.
Game.
He used it in his last start, and it was pretty good. I mean, the velocity on it was up from when he originally threw a cutter because it was originally like 88.
Yeah.
And I mean, the guy has a 99 mile an hour 4-seamer and a 98 mile an hour 2-seamer. His cutter was 92, so it's mixing velocities, mixing looks. I mean, if it helps him, great, because that'll help induce ground balls and hopefully get him out of tough situations. They should have J.P. Crawford coming back soon.
I'm looking at his savant right now, and he throws 4-seamer 41% of the time, sinker 20% of the time, slider 18% of the time, split finger 9% of the time, and knuckle curve 8.8% of the time, and then like I said, the cutter like 0.8% right now. Yeah. Honestly, if I'm like, I don't know why, but something tells me if and I'm not trying to tell George Kirby how to pitch. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not that.
Wait, what was his mix on his split?
His split was only 9.9%.
I think he should mix that in more.
That's what I was thinking. The split and the knuckle curve, I think, should be mixed in more. In my opinion, is my opinion trash? Yes. But like, I just think that 4-seamer, I mean, is nasty. I mean, 100 miles, basically throws it 100 miles an hour. That's great. But like, if you look at a lot of guys that, like, for example, a Garrett Cole throws that curveball right over the top of his fastball, and it helps that fastball play a lot better.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, he's still young, so he's still like learning to pitch, kind of. But I think if he ups the usage of his breaking pitches, it'll help him play that fastball better because he throws the 4-seamer like top of the zone all the time.
Yes.
So
which is great. That's where you want it.
Yeah, it's exactly where you want it when you throw 99. So if he ups the usage on the curve and the split, because, dude, when I pitch with him in the show, I mix pitches like crazy with him.
Well, you have to.
Because he's so wicked in the show, you may as well.
Yeah.
Like, so don't be so reliant on the damn fastball. You have like 6 other pitches.
Yeah.
And
they're also good pitches. I mean, they're very good pitches. I mean, and
there's a reason his walk rate is so low.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a 0.9 walk rate, that's exactly what it was last year, which is crazy. So I'm going to dive a little bit into these numbers. He's got a 0.9 walk rate, which is the exact same as it was last year. His strikeout to walk rate is a 9.05, which was best in baseball. And then this year, same exact walk rate and a 10.20 strikeout to walk rate. So his strikeouts are up, and somehow his ERA is so down. And don't get me wrong, the FIP shows that, like, the expected numbers all show that he's getting screwed. He's just been getting very unlucky. And by the end of the year, it'll probably be back to normal. He'll be down. He'll be flirting with a Cy Young again. If he continues on the stretch that he's on. And I'm not saying that he should change anything because obviously it's working.
I think just up the usage of the breaking pitches.
If I were to do anything personally, but that's, again, I'm not trying to tell him how to pitch.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell him how to pitch, but from a viewer's standpoint, I think if he ups the usage of the breaking stuff, he'll get more chase and more whiffs on the fastball rather than because you can't sit something if like he's thrown a splitter to you to set up a fastball.
Well, exactly. If he's throwing the splitter, let's say 20% of the time, okay, or the knuckle curve 20% of the time, it's like, okay, you
I
can't
think I'd have
sit
him
fastball now.
Yeah, I think if I was a M's pitching coach, and I'm not an expert by any means, I'm not claiming to be. If I were them, I'd be like, let's get the knuckle curve up to like 15 to 18 and the split up to like 15.
Yeah,
Because you need to throw it more.
Yeah, and because right now his only off-speed, well, not off-speed, but non-fastball pitch that he's throwing at
It's
a
a
decent
slider,
rate
right?
is his slider, and he's throwing it at 18%, which that's
I'd
great.
I'd like him to get his four seamer down to like 30, something like that.
Yeah, like 37, 35%, somewhere in there, and then get up the knuckle curve and the split finger up there a little more. And honestly, the sinker, it's nice. It is nice. But
his sinker has good run to it, so I like when he throws it to lefties. Yeah. But like, you've got to mix the other breaking stuff in too. Like,
well,
I mean,
then if you're gonna, then you're talking to left. If you're talking about lefties, yeah, you throw the sinker. You throw the sinker that percent of the time. Throw the split finger more, which is basically the changeup for him.
It's an out pitch for lefties.
Yeah, it's a great pitch against lefties. That's a perfect pitch to throw to lefties. I mean, anytime I face lefties, I loved facing lefties as a pitcher because I was a sinker changeup pitcher. So yeah. I was the left-handed hitter's nightmare because I threw a good changeup and a good sinker. Like, yeah, I was a right-handed hitter's fucking wet dream because
the ball ran inside.
Yeah. Oh, so my first ever outing in college baseball, I throw a fastball to this guy who ended up leading the entire nation in batting average, by the way.
Oh.
I throw, bases loaded, I come in. I throw a fastball up, get a strike, and I'm like, okay. Now I was like, he doesn't want that fastball, so I'm going to go sinker inside, make it look exactly like that pitch, and I'm going to go sinker in. There's no way he's going to hit it. That ball still has not landed. Like, that ball was massacred. I threw it, I just started giggling. I was just like, what just happened? Ball was fucking pissed on. And then I get a ground out on the next guy. Guy after that led the league in home runs that year. And I got him to a 2-strike count. I don't remember on what pitches, but I got him to his 2-strike count. I think it was 2 fastballs. And then I go slider away. And this ball is basically in the other batter's box. And on one leg, hits it opposite field out of the park.
That's a fluke. That's a fluke.
Like, I just threw my hands up and I was like, I was audibly laughing because I was like, I couldn't have thrown a better pitch there.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, my ERA skyrocketed to fucking 14, basically.
Yeah. With that, I think those both of our teams.
Yep.
Orioles.
Hang on.
Waiting. Okay.
Right. Had to make it short.
Play the fucking song.
Play the song. He hasn't been doing his thing as well recently.
He's kind of regressed a little, but I mean, he'll be fine. It's Gunnar Henderson. So,
all
things are possible, so jot that down. But yeah, they're currently not in first in the AL East, which, I mean, I don't know if that's going to continue. I mean, I think, I mean, just the teeth of that lineup.
The teeth of the lineup is the entire fucking lineup.
It is the fucking lineup. It's the entire lineup. They're only a game back.
Yeah.
And they're 7-3 in their last 10. They're still doing well. The Yankees won their 30th game. They're the second team to 30 now. Shout out the Phillies. But I mean, realistically, I do think the Orioles still win this division, but I mean, it's clearly going to be more of a fight than we thought.
Way more of a fight than we thought, which is going to make when we go to New York in Gunnar Henderson jerseys so much fun.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
And if he hits a home run, immediately on my phone is going to be blasting Sweet Escape.
Oh, I'm going to be doing the same thing.
I'm probably going to blast the entire song too, so I'm going to make sure all Yankees fans want me hung.
Oh, that'll be a fucking show.
Yes, but I might get hung there. You might. Could happen there.
Well, it's not old Yankee Stadium, so maybe not.
True.
But yeah, so Adley hit a walk-off bomb yesterday. Pulled it to the flagpoles, stumbled out of the box watching it, trying to see if it was going to stay fair or, be a double. They checked it for fan interference, but it hit like the green part, right below the fence. And I was like,
well,
I don't know if you could really argue fan interference on the green, but that kind of killed like all of it, because I don't know if you saw it aside from the Twitter highlight, but
no,
I was watching it. So he hit that, and I was like, oh, he just walked it off. He did, but like they greet him at home plate and everything. Kevin Brown has this great call. I don't remember who was calling the game with him. It's like, oh, they're going to look at it. It's like, well, yeah, they have no other option. They have to review it.
Duh.
But he gets to the plate. They dunked him like an entire cooler of water. And I was like, you know how that much of that's going to suck if he has to go back out to second base?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, God damn it, it's cold.
He's just sitting there. Like, they're sitting at the top step of the dugout, like, what was taking so long? It took a little bit longer than I thought it would to review. I mean, it looked like, yeah, you could have argued, if fans' arms are out, they're trying to catch a walk-off tank.
Well, what's crazy, Adley hit 2 tanks in the first game of this series, too.
Yeah.
Like, Adley is coming on right now.
Yeah, Adley's on fire. He would have been on the hot list for sure.
Yeah, if we were doing hot or not, he's on the hot list because he's hit 3 home runs in the last 2 games. He's
hit 4 in his last 3.
See, but like he's on fire right now.
Yeah,
absolutely on fire.
And if he's crushing the ball,
yeah. I mean, he's always crushing the ball, but like to this extent, Jesus. I mean, they're gonna have 2 possible MVP candidates on the team, and they might steal votes from each other, which is why Juan Soto will end up winning it.
Yep.
3. I mean, he's
poor Kyle Tucker's gonna finish 4th.
Kyle Tucker's gonna finish 25th with the best OPS in baseball.
Yeah.
So he's hitting 314 right now with an 859 OPS. So he's coming along.
Yeah.
Guys, and also I believe, again, this does not have yesterday's game on it, I'm sure, because Fangraphs for some reason can't get it updated Thursday. Okay, so this is updated Thursday, which is today. So it was. Okay, it is on there.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, again, Orioles are a ton of fun to watch. He hit that home run off Jordan Romano. Funny thing, the first at bat of that game was they had Westberg in the leadoff spot. He hit a leadoff home run. They won the game with a leadoff home run and a home run in their last at bat. And that's pretty rare, actually. Like it hasn't happened a ton, which, I mean, that makes sense because that's like crazy. But Westy was on base too, and I mean, right now, I think I really do think they're kind of waiting for Jackson to figure it all out, because he's hitting leadoff for the Tides right now, and they've changed his swing. He just hit a low changeup out of the park. Went 393. It didn't go into like whatever estuary their park is by, which I could know. I'm in Virginia, but I don't know it. And Norfolk isn't exactly the greatest area, but like if he figures it out, I do think he'll end up leading off instead of Gunnar, because if you put Gunnar in like the cleanup spot,
well, I honestly would put him in the 2 spot, and I have a theory behind this.
Yeah,
and I do this with every team I ever play on the show with, and at any team I've ever thought of coaching. I've always done. Doesn't matter lefty righty to start. I prefer to go righty first batter. But I always go lefty in the 2 hole, because lefties are more likely to pull the ball, right?
Yeah,
and
you're gonna have the gap.
They're gonna have the gap there, and then also a ball that's hit to right field. You're trying to go first to third, and it's much easier to go first to third when the ball is coming from right field rather than from left field. So I've always done that. I personally, that's just what I do.
I mean, if I'm Brandon Hyde, I think I'd leave Westberg at leadoff.
Yeah.
Because Westberg steals bags, he gets on base like a ton. Like, he's super underrated at this point, which is crazy.
He is.
And because realistically, like, think about it. If you have Jackson, Gunnar, and then
Which
Adley against a right-handed pitcher, that's 3 straight lefties.
Which the Jackson thing, man, he's still not doing well in AAA. I mean,
No,
his
he's not.
last 7
He's
days
not.
he's hitting 0.87. The last
Well,
15 days he's hitting 0.59. So I mean, and he struck out 11 times to 2 his walks. So yeah, he's changed his swing.
He's changed his entire swing.
But,
so I think that might have something to do with it. But yeah, he's not looked great. But I think, I mean, we talked about this pre-episode. I don't think he's coming up until like late June at the best.
At the earliest, honestly.
Yeah.
At the earliest.
I mean, so Brandon Hyde has time to toy around with that lineup, but like at some point they do want Jackson to come into his own. So
yeah, and if that, I mean, that might not even be this year, and even if it's not this year, please everybody remember he is 20 years old. Like,
a lot of players have failed before they get to the spot they want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, Gunnar Henderson got sent down last year, and then ended up winning unanimous Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Alex Bregman went 0 for 32 to start his career.
Yep.
It happens very often, and people need to take a chill pill on the Jackson being a flop
bust
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
He's not a bust. He's literally 20 years old.
Yeah,
not everybody bursts onto the scene like Juan Soto did.
Yeah,
hard to do. Very hard to do.
It's almost impossible to replicate.
It is. I mean, what Juan Soto did at the youngest age possible is absurd. I mean, at 19 years old, he was second in Rookie of the Year, which is insane to me that he was second in Rookie of the Year voting. He was behind Acuna Jr. that year, and he had a 923 OPS, which is better than Gunnar Henderson's was last year.
Yep.
Like, it's so rare that players at that young of an age have it figured out. And the only reason that that Soto got second that year in Rookie of the Year was because of Acuna Jr. doing the exact same thing. It's so rare that happens. So
Yep. Okay, now with that, say no to walks.
Hang on, drum roll. Announcement, and also I want to get into this real quick before I do the drum roll. I want everyone to know that for purposes of the Say No to Walks feature, it's not going to be in every game or every podcast thing. Like, it's going to be whenever somebody does something special. Like last time it was Seth Lugo, 12 strikeouts, 8 innings pitched. That's special. Who we're about to announce did something special as well, and it is
Aaron Nola. Fitting tribute to Roy Halladay on Roy Halladay's birthday. He pitched a complete game shutout, 4 hits, no runs, no earned runs, 8 Ks, no walks. It's a fitting tribute, to Roy, and his ERA is now 3.1. Aaron's had some rough outings, but he has had, he's looking like the Aaron that we are more accustomed to in Philly.
Yeah.
And that's a huge sign considering how good Wheels and Ranger have been. So 3-headed monster at the top of the Phillies rotation.
The craziest thing about that is saying that Aaron Nola is the 3 guy when just 4 years ago he was
our
ace and the only guy you guys had. Like, that was an ace. And now you guys have 3.
Yep. And it's lovely to watch. But yeah, so Nola was great. Hopefully he continues that. I think, what was I going to say? He's throwing his cutter a lot better this year than he had in prior seasons. The one thing I always wish he had developed was a damn slider. I wish he had a slider because it would play so well off his fastball sinker mix. His changeup is good. His knuckle curve is obviously his signature pitch, and it's gross. But if he had a slider, that would be wicked.
Yeah, it's as a pitcher that was sinker changeup, it's hard to throw a good slider. But it's even harder to throw a knuckle curve, which shockingly he's throwing his knuckle curve more than any pitch he has.
It's always been his pitch.
Yeah. He throws it, which, like I said, is weird but I guess he's not really a 3/4 arm guy. I was a 3/4 arm guy, and throwing a curveball as a 3/4 arm guy is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but you're not going to get the 12-6 action you want. You're going to get more of a sweeper. Yeah, he's throwing the knuckle curve 30% of the time, four-seam fastball 24% of the time, sinker 22% of the time. And looking at that placement of that sinker is a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
It is just on the black of the plate in the left side batter's box. Like,
Yeah.
that is a thing of beauty.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, Nola's always been a precision pitcher. He's never been a power pitcher.
No.
I mean, in his entire career, I think he's thrown 6 or 7 fastballs, 96 or more.
Yeah.
4 of them were to his older brother.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Hey, that gets it up. Trust me. Me and my brother have had live at bats against each other, and some have gone good. For me, actually, we've done it twice. First time, I dominated his little ass. I fucking lit him up. He couldn't hit me to save his fucking life. The second time I had live at bats against him, I'm pretty sure he hit some balls that never came back. Like he
got used to seeing you.
He's a better player than I ever was. But yeah, that's not shocking at all because I wasn't that good.
All right, with that, you want to move into the what is it now?
Quarter
of the way through the season?
Yeah, I did the math. I did it with the Phillies schedule, and it was at like 27%. So I was like, that's about a quarter.
That's
of the year.
A quarter, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're at about a quarter of the year, and we're going to grade each team. Do you want to go AL or NL first?
I have it written up AL so far.
All right. AL East, Central, West?
Yep.
All right. So starting with the New York Yankees, and I'll do my grade, or let's do, here's what we'll do. I'll do all of AL East. You'll do all of AL East. If you think I'm crazy on something, object, and vice versa. I'll object if I think you're crazy on something. New York Yankees, I'm going to go in a solid A because I didn't have them being that good. They are 29-15 right now. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They got a plus 62 run differential, which is the best in the American League, possibly the best in baseball. Let me look.
It's plus 67 after today.
Plus 67 after today. So, yeah, they've been doing it. I can't. I mean, Rodon's actually been still doing it. The entire pitching staff has actually been pretty all right, minus Nestor.
Yeah, minus Nestor.
I mean, all of Rodon's expected numbers show that he should be not doing this great. I mean, he's not doing. I mean, he's got a 3.31 ERA right now. His expected ERA is a 4.63.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking at his baseball savant page right now. The only things that are red for him are fastball run value, fastball velo, walk rate. Everything else is in the blue. So
that's not great.
Is it gonna regress? Probably.
Yeah.
But to that, I'm gonna still stick with them with an A because for what they've done so far, they've gotten it done.
Yeah.
I mean, Juan Soto's getting it done. Aaron Judge is starting to figure it out. Like they're starting to come along.
That's actually the exact same grade I had. It's not really worth me looping around unless I have a stark disagreement.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
The same grade. Yeah.
All right. Baltimore Orioles. I'm going with a B. I'm going to go with a B because I had them running away with this division. They're half game back right. Well, should be probably a full game back right now since the Yankees game.
Yeah, they are a full
over.
Game back now.
Full game back. I had them running away with this division. They have yet to do so. They had the division lead. They've been fighting for the division lead.
Yeah.
I'm going with a B just because I think they should have run away with the division, and I think they will eventually still. But
yeah, no. And the thing is, I have them at a B plus. The reason I don't have them at an A is more so because of the Yankees than anything else.
That's true.
Like that's affecting their grade. It's not like they've been bad. They have been very good.
They have been very good.
The one concerning thing for me about the Orioles recently has been the last 4 starts. They haven't scored like any runs for Corbin Burns.
I was just about to say that.
They need to figure that out, or else this grade's going to drop because they need to win with their ace on the mound. You have to win those games.
Yes, they need to be winning games with Corbin Burns, possibly going to be this year's Cy Young.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to. In their last few games, they really haven't scored a lot of runs in general. Last game they scored 2 runs. Game before that they scored 3 runs, and literally those were all Adley. Like it
was all Adley.
Just Adley and a home run by Westberg, and that's it. And then against Arizona on Sunday, they only scored 2 runs as well. And then even before that, 4 runs against Arizona, 2 runs against Arizona.
And that's
they
the thing.
haven't really put up a crazy number since Wednesday of last week, when they put up 7.
And that's the thing. The pitching matchups they're getting aren't getting easier.
No,
like they're going against the Mariners next, and that's tough. Like
that's a tough.
I mean, yes, they're hosting them, but T-Mobile and Camden Yards are both pitcher-friendly parks.
They are.
Like, is the Mariners' offense much worse? Absolutely. But if you are slumping, their pitching might make you look really bad.
Yeah, because their pitching is the best in baseball, and right now, I mean, they went up against Toronto and Arizona, which
I think
neither
they
of
went
those
up
teams
against
really.
Barrios and Kikuchi.
Yeah, Barrios was game 1.
And then it was Kikuchi.
Kikuchi was game 2.
And Kikuchi had like 12 strikeouts, so... I mean, I don't know what the...
9 strikeouts. But
9
still,
strikeouts?
That's too many. That's too many.
That's too many. I mean, it's too many for your offense to be as good as it is. I mean, you scored 203 runs. You've got to figure something out there. Like, this could just be like a little hump in the road, and I think it 100%.
Is. Probably is.
And I'm sure that I can't say sure, but I am more than 90% sure they're going to win the division still.
Yeah, same
but
here.
Like, you gotta figure out your offense, and you gotta support Corbin Burns. You gotta support Kyle Bradish. You gotta support Grayrod. You gotta support Cole Irvin, and you gotta support John Means, or you're not gonna win those damn games.
Yep. Gotta score runs. The way to win baseball games is score more runs than the other team.
Exactly.
Easy math.
Yeah, that's fairly easy math there.
All right. Red Sox.
The Red Sox.
The Red Sox are 21-20, or I'm sorry, 22-21. I'm going to go with a B+ for them as well.
That's what I was giving them.
Because I'm not going to give them an A because they're not going crazy, but they're doing significantly better than expected. Significantly better. I did not expect them to be 500, let alone
I didn't expect them
above
to be
500.
Third place.
No, they're in third place right now.
I don't know if
31
that continues.
A plus 31 run differential, which is
suggests
wild.
Sustainability.
And if they finish third place in this division, that's a win for them this year.
Yeah.
When they're currently probably the worst defensive team I've ever seen play a baseball game.
Oh my God, they're holy hell.
Horrendous defensively. Got some hitters. I mean, Tyler O'Neill's been great.
Tearing the cover off the ball. Yep, that hurts. I know. I saw it.
One of these days, I'm going to make a all Cardinals traded away list, and that team's probably going to be the best team in baseball.
Probably.
Yeah. Would you grade Boston the same way?
Yeah, I did. I gave them B+.
Right.
And I was like, it's like, yeah, your record isn't like stellar, but like you're better than most people expected. Plus, they're actually underperforming their expected win-loss. Yeah, their expected win-loss is 25-18.
So I mean, hey, they're playing good ball games.
Yeah.
After that, Tampa Bay Rays. I got them at I'm gonna go with a D because they're 500.
I gave
right
them
now.
an F.
Wow.
I think look, this is a team that I thought was like, I think we both thought was going to be worse than they were last year, but I didn't see it being like, for them, this is awful.
Yeah,
like,
for them, this is terrible.
So that's why I gave them an F. And the only reason I gave them an F is because I don't see any suggestion that this turns around. Their starting staff hasn't been great. Their offense has been bad. Their run differential is -30. There's no suggestion that they can actually turn this around.
I agree with you. Where the only thing the only reason I went with a D is because I mean, yeah, this was the worst year that I've actually looked at them and been like, they might not be good this year.
Yeah,
but also like that's kind of
I thought that like 7 years in a row.
Yeah, I've thought that for a decade now that they were going to be bad this year, and they've proved me wrong every year. I mean, right now their team OPS is 679, which is 18th in all of baseball. Their pitching right now is at an ERA of 22nd at a 4.31, which is crazy because they never have bad pitching staffs.
Never.
Ever.
That's why I gave them an F. I'm like, none of these numbers show you can figure it out.
I mean, if I believe a lot of it has to do with their relief pitching actually being bad, which
their
is like
relief pitching has been awful.
Yeah, 25th in baseball by ERA. Which, what? Like, I've never seen the Rays have a bad bullpen.
These are the guys that turn like no names into I throw 99 and you're never going to touch any of my breaking pitches.
We said, Phil Maton was the prime candidate to all
Most
of a sudden throw
obvious
99.
sub 2 guy with a 99 mile an hour fastball when his fastball is typically 90.
Yeah, and we were like, the Rays are going to figure something out with him. They haven't yet, and I'm still sticking with the D, but just
that's fine.
Because of I looked at them and I was like, they're not going to be good this year. And lo and behold,
I looked at them and
they're 500, which is not terrible.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm looking at expected win loss, and that means nothing. Yeah. But their expected win loss is 19 and 25. This suggests they're worse than they actually are. And then this is my harshest grade. The next one's my harshest grade.
Oh yeah, this next one is my harshest grade.
I gave them an F minus.
Yeah, I agree. F minus for the Blue Jays. F minus for the Blue Jays.
They're 19 and 23, minus 47 run differential, and their expected win loss is 16 and 26. That would put them among the worst in baseball.
Yeah, and honestly, they are among the worst in baseball. I mean, nothing for them has gone well. Toronto's pitching, I'm looking at their relief pitching right now. Let's see. They're 25th in baseball in ERA overall. And then their OPS has to be in the bottom tier as well, which is crazy because before it was the Baby Jays. The Baby Jays were the new cool thing 5 years ago. I mean,
they all got killed by a damn hawk.
Yeah, they are 23rd in all of baseball in OPS. So that's a team with Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr., George Springer. Like, the team
Dalton
Varsho, Alejandro Kirk. Like, the team was supposed to be loaded. And they suck.
Yeah, they suck.
They just suck. I don't know how Cam is alive. Like
I don't know how Cam or Yams are alive at all.
It's hard to watch.
They must not watch at all.
No, they can't. I wouldn't either. I mean, I barely watch my Cardinals. Like it's hard. It's hard to watch. They get an F minus. They suck ass. That's all I can say.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the Central. Cleveland Guardians, A plus. Fucking plus.
I give them an A plus as well.
A plus. I mean, they're 27 and 17, 5-5 in their last 10, which isn't great. But a plus 48 run differential. They're in first place, and both of us, I believe, had them finishing third or fourth.
Yeah,
I want to say.
Well, it's because I thought the lineup had no thump.
No, and they proved us wrong.
Clearly. Like, I mean, look, good for them. I'll clap it up. I'll eat my words. Like, good for you.
Yeah, good. In fact, claps for them.
Your City Connect jerseys still fucking suck.
That's true. Your City Connect jerseys blow.
They look like an undercover cop playing baseball.
Yeah. They're 15th in baseball in OPS, which I'm shocked. I thought they'd be. I mean, beginning of the season, I thought they'd be bottom 10.
Yeah.
Easily, if not bottom 5. And then their pitching staff is doing what they always fucking do. They have the 9th best ERA in baseball. They're always good. And with the 9th best ERA in baseball, you can have a literally league average offense,
and you're probably going to win those games.
Yeah, and they're in first place because of it.
Yep.
Now at the Kansas City Royals.
I'll say my grade. You can say yours.
Go ahead.
I'm giving them an A plus. I did not expect this. I did not expect this.
I agree. I was between an A and an A plus. I mean, I expected Bobby Witt Jr. to be Bobby Witt Jr., but minus that, I was not expecting them to be second best in the Central. Have a plus 45 run differential, and only be a game and a half back from the Guardians. I mean, their pitching staff with Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Cole Reagans is 10th in baseball in ERA.
Good for them.
That's with Michael Wacha not doing what he did last year.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo has been on a different planet good this year.
Yeah.
His expected numbers say that he should be coming down at some point.
But right now he's making an all-star team.
I mean, yeah, he might be starting the all-star game as of right now. That's insane to me. I would never in the year of our Lord 2024 think that Seth Lugo is starting an all-star game.
Yeah, neither did I.
and then their offense is pretty much right behind Cleveland. I mean, the things show they're 17th in baseball. So just a shocking one on this list, and I'll get to that when I get there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they're 17th in baseball by OPS, and yeah, the Kansas City Royals, they've been getting it done. I got nothing bad to say about what the Royals been doing.
Neither do I.
Other than Michael Wacha. Michael Wacha, figure it out. Because I want the Royals to be good. The Royals are fun. Like, when baseball's better when the Royals are good.
Yeah.
After that, oh yeah, Michael Wacha's got a 4.71 ERA. That's how bad I thought it was. I knew it was
Jesus.
bad. I knew it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's not great.
Twins, I'm gonna go B, solid B.
That's what I give him to. Solid.
Yeah,
B.
I'm gonna go with a B because
that 12-game win streak really pulled things together for them. But
yes,
it's like,
if it wasn't for that
there's
12-game win streak, they're a D. But
yeah,
they needed that 12-game win streak. They got it done. Gave them a B because last year they won the division. They're 2 games back of winning the division. They could still win it. I don't know if they do. They got a plus 19 run differential. So I just, I don't know what to think of them.
I don't either.
The offense is doing it right now. They got the 11th best offense in baseball by OPS, and their pitching I don't think has been as good.
No, but that also probably comes from the fact that they really only have 2 guys.
Yeah. Pablo Lopez, who for some reason always gets Cy Young credit.
It's because he's a doctor.
I guess.
It's not justified. I'm not saying it's justified.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Why am I missing Twins? Minnesota, there we are. They have a 4 ERA, which is literally league average, basically. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's I went with a B on them because they won the division last year and they're in a division that they could win again.
I think the AL Central is going to be pretty competitive. So we'll see what happens come to the end of the season, but I think the Royals are due for regression via their expected stats. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Central's always weird.
The Detroit Tigers, who we both had winning the Central, I'm giving them a D.
I'm giving them a D as well. I think it's a lot due to I expected a lot more from them.
So did I. The pitching staff, minus Maeda, really. Maeda's been fucking dog water. The pitching staff has been overall. Tarik Skubal might win the fucking Cy Young.
Tarik Skubal might win the Cy Young. And that would be great for me because I bet it. But Maeda, I didn't like that signing when they signed him. I didn't like that signing.
I didn't like that either. They have the 8th best ERA in baseball as a pitching staff. So, their pitching staff is getting it done. And their bullpen is lights out, too.
But their offense is what? Close to dead last?
It's got to be. Last time I looked, they've been flirting with dead last pretty much all season long.
Their OPS has to be terrible.
They've jumped a little bit. They're at 26th, so 4th to last.
I guess that's an improvement, but it's not much of one.
No, it's not much of an improvement by any means.
If your pitching staff is getting it the hell done.
Yeah,
but
and minus
your offense, they have. Their run differential is +1. They've scored 168, given up 167. Their pitching staff is. They have close to their top 3 in terms of that division in runs against. It's Guardians 161, Royals 157, and then the Tigers at 167, and then everyone else. It's they've given up a lot more runs. But their offense is so damn bad.
Their offense is terrible. Minus Riley Green, who's got an 824 OPS, 239 batting average, though, just so we know. He's got some power, but, man.
You got to qualify it a little.
Yeah. And then, is it Wenzel? Wenzel Perez, he's got an 841 OPS. And Kerry Carpenter.
No idea who the hell that even is.
He is their center fielder, I guess. And then Kerry
Carpenter,
a good
outfielder. They got good outfielders.
And then Kerry Carpenter's his come back to hitting well. He's got an 826 OPS with 271 batting average. But minus those 3, Torkelson has been MIA.
He's hit. I think he hit 2 home runs this week.
Okay, so maybe he's coming around. But if they still play Javi Baez every day, you're asking to have a terrible offense. Yeah, Javi Baez has been. Oh no, I forgot Casey Mize is also back for them. So
I said that in the group chat because he was doing some work.
Yeah, he's got a 3.50 ERA.
I'm happy for him
with the pitching of Spencer Torkelson, Casey Mize, and Jack Flaherty. Ouch.
You meant Tarik Skubal. You said Torkelson pitching.
Yes, Spencer Torkelson pitching. No, I meant Tarik Skubal. Yes.
Yeah.
With Skubal, Flaherty, and I almost said Torkelson again. And Casey Mize, that's a big three.
And
I
Reese
mean,
Olson's been good too. So
yeah,
is
and Reese,
what's that other guy? Random guy. Matt Manning. Matt Manning hasn't
yes,
been bad either.
yes.
He
Mm-hmm.
took a
And
no hitter into the seventh in one of his games. I think his first game back.
so yeah, that's why I gave him a D, is just because like their offense shows promise. I mean, Torkelson hit 30 home runs last year. Like
Yeah.
Kerry Carpenter hits the cover off the ball. Riley Green apparently is hitting the cover off the ball. So it's like
the thing is, they're only 5.5 games back, which is
No.
totally recoverable.
Totally doable.
So I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is only a quarter of the way through the season. It's a long damn season. So I mean, it might work out, but like their offense needs to get together if they're going to do anything.
Yeah. So moving on to the Chicago White Sox, I'm going to do a pre and post. Tommy Pham, F.
Pre Tommy Pham, I'm giving him an F minus minus.
Yeah. They just
post Tommy Pham, I was actually going to give him like a B. This is
post
funny.
Tommy Pham. Shit, they're 6-4 in their last 10. Like Tommy Pham,
the Tommy
savior
Pham
of the
effect.
White Sox. No, being 100% honest, over the full season, I'm giving him an F plus. And the only reason I'm giving them an F plus is because we knew they were going to suck. And post Tommy Pham, they've actually been terrible.
Okay-ish. They're terrible, but like,
but they're bad. Like, I mean, they got a minus 87 run differential.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You can't be good with that. You just can't.
White Sox eliminated.
Yeah, White Sox have been eliminated from postseason contention. Just in. Moving to the Mariners. Oof. Mariners. Pitching staff's an A fucking plus.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with a C plus because their hitting is so bad.
Like, I was giving them just a solid C.
Yeah.
Like
the only reason I give it C plus is because they're in first place.
Yeah. I mean, and that's fair, but like that division's so tight. I was just like, yeah. I don't.
Mean, their pitching is among the best in baseball. Their hitting is among the worst in baseball.
Yeah.
They've actually jumped a significant amount though. They're now at 20th in baseball. So by OPS, which is big.
Yeah, that is big.
We said it on a previous episode. If they have a league average hitting and the pitching staff that they have, that's a World Series contending team just because of how good that pitching is.
Yeah.
They have currently the 6th best ERA in baseball, and honestly, the teams that are ahead of them, the Orioles, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. Yankees and Red Sox are not finishing in the top
No.
5. They're not.
The Phillies probably will.
Dodgers possibly, Phillies possibly, Baltimore possibly also. But I still think if you give me,
I'm taking the Mariners staff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The staff is so deep that I would like. Yes. They could have Emerson Hancock coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, exactly. So they're if they can just have a league average hitting, which it seems like as of recent, because they were dog water, like one of the worst in baseball just 2 weeks ago, and now they're at least they're 20th in baseball, which is still not good. But if they can get to that 15, 14 spot, they're looking at a strong push. And I'm still thinking at the deadline they're going to add somebody. They have to. Yeah. Texas Rangers. I'm going to go D.
I was pretty harsh on them. I gave them a D as well.
Yeah, I'm going with a D. Because the only reason it's not an F is because they're at least positive. Like
at least, but it's like these are the World Series champs.
Exactly.
The lineup didn't change.
No.
In fact, you added. I mean, okay, you're currently without Josh Young and Evan Carter.
Yes.
But Evan Carter hasn't been great.
No.
And Josh Young, I think is probably the biggest miss right there because that dude has nuts power. But
he does.
Wyatt Langford hasn't really looked like Wyatt Bangford.
No, he's definitely not been Bangford. He's only got one home run, and that was an inside the Parker.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's a World Series hangover. I mean, it's possible.
It honestly feels like it because, like, minus AG, Nathan Lowe, those are the only two guys above an 800 OPS right now, and AG is sitting exactly at an 800. Which, honestly, for what AG was last year, that's a low OPS for what he had compared to last year. And Nathan Lowe having an 844 OPS. That's about what I figured. But Corey Seager, put a missing poster sign for Corey Seager right now.
Please.
Because holy shit, where has he been? He's hitting 238 with a 670 OPS. That's the guy who finished second in MVP voting. And if there wasn't a guy named Shohei Ohtani that lived, he's the
an
MVP.
Yeah,
easily. And that's with him missing basically a third of the season. He was that good in that amount of time.
Yeah.
And then same with Marcus Semien. I wouldn't say he's put out a missing poster sign, but he's not what he was last year. He's got a 276 batting average, 784 OPS for the guy who finished third in MVP voting last year. And their pitching staff, I mean, yes, they're banged up.
Yes, a lot of people are hurt.
Banged up. They're missing literally their top three guys. Scherzer, DeGrom, Evaldi, all hurt right now. John Gray's actually been shockingly good for them. But, man, I had to go with the D because they won the World Series last year, and they're in second place and have not looked like world beaters by any means. I mean, they have a plus 14 run differential. Like, whoop-de-doo, Basil.
Yep.
Oakland A's. A.
I'm going to say it. I'm giving them an A. Yeah, I'm giving them an A.
In fact, I'm going with an A+. Like,
I'd give them an A+. I had them just a solid A just because their name is the A's, but, I could give them an A+. Like, huge fuck you to John Fisher. They're awesome. Like, look, is it sustainable? Probably not.
No.
Are they going to finish the season at third? Probably not.
No.
But right now it's fun. I'll give them an A for the first quarter.
Yeah, A+ for the first quarter. They're 19 and 26. They're 5.5 back, which that's about
Mason Miller. You get a gold star.
Mason Miller,
valedictorian.
Are you real? Like, are you a robot?
No, he's not real. Minus 0.19 FIP right now.
So, like, I looked up, because I was curious. First of all, I didn't even understand how it was possible to have a negative FIP.
I didn't think it was possible at all.
I didn't think it was either, but apparently it can be done. And it's supposed to, and when I looked it up, it said, for short periods of time, it is possible. We're a quarter way through the season, my friend.
I think he's perfect in save opportunities still.
He's got 18 innings pitched, and he's still got a negative FIP. A .98 ERA, .65 WHIP, 38 strikeouts in that 18.
He leads the team in strikeouts.
I'm looking at his baseball reference page, his baseball savant page right now. I'm just stroking right now because I'm stroking in a few ways. My brain is having a stroke, and you can figure out the other way. But oh my god, he's in the 100th percentile in expected ERA, expected batting average against, fastball velo, whiff rate, K percentage, and then he's 99th in chase rate and hard hit percentage.
Dude, like they said on Baseball's Dead, he's literally must-watch television.
Yeah.
If you're watching another game and there's Mason Miller's coming in to pitch,
put it on the game. Put it on, because you're about to see some wild stuff right now.
You're going to see 3 strikeouts.
So they have as similar pitchers right now. They have as Jacob deGrom, Spencer Strider, Hunter Green, Garrett Cole. No, I'm sorry. Those guys are not similar pitchers because the only reason I say that is because there's nobody to compare Mason Miller to. There's nobody. You cannot compare him. He's doing it on 2 fucking pitches. He throws a 4-seam and a slider, and it's fuck you and fuck you also. That's basically what his 2 pitches are.
Give him a fucking splitter, and he's the best closer in baseball history.
He might be the best closer in baseball history right now.
He currently is. Yeah.
What? You can't
I saw a tweet yesterday that said, "Tell me one thing that Mariano Rivera did better than Mason Miller."
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that Mason Miller will never see in an Oakland A's uniform is a playoff game.
No, but never. Well, I mean, he's not going to be there long enough for that. So
yeah, he'll be a Baltimore Oriole by the end of the year.
Yeah,
please. We have lost Brendan due to other things.
I got a knock at the door.
Yeah, you're good.
No.
Houston Afros. The Houston Afros.
I'm giving him an F.
Yeah, they're F-.
I could give him an F-, but I was like, it's an F, but they're on a 4-game winning streak, so maybe I can't hate too hard, but
I'm still giving him an F-.
Okay, that's
seven straight ALCS appearances, and you're in
9.
second. I think it's 7. I thought.
Okay, 7 makes sense.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it was 7. 7 straight ALCS appearances, and they're in 4th place with an 18 and 25 record. 5-5 in their last
6
10.
and 4. 6 and 4 in the last 10.
6-4 in the last 10. Oh no, I'm looking at games back. I'm an idiot. So they're starting to trend in the right direction, but still have a negative 17 run differential. And I understand, like, they got a lot of guys hurt right now, but so do the Rangers. Like,
And they're at least above 500.
Yeah, they're at least above 500. And I'm also genuinely concerned about Justin Verlander. I'm starting to...
You have justifiable concerns for Justin.
Justin Verlander, you look at his baseball reference page, his baseball savant page, and it's the first time I've ever been concerned about Justin Verlander, literally ever.
Yeah.
It's mostly blue. The only things that he's red in are break run value and hard hit percentage. Oh, I'm sorry. Break run value, hard hit percentage, barely in the red in expected batting average against, and average exit velo. His expected ERA right now is a 3.91.
That's not who you signed up for.
No, that's not the Justin Verlander of his entire career.
Because that's not an ace. And
no.
Look, Justin, it might be time to start a family, brother.
He already has a family, but still. Wait, doesn't he have kids?
I don't think they have kids.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Do they really?
Yeah, I think they have 2.
Maybe I just haven't kept up with Justin Verlander's relationship.
Oh, I don't keep up with... Oh, I do. Trust me. I have a daily notification whenever Kate Upton posts. I'm just waiting for the divorce. Because I'm clearly the next one up. I'm clearly the one that she's going to call first.
I'll be the divorce attorney. I got you. I'll slide the number across the table.
Hey, you can't sleep with clients.
No, I'm saying I'll slide your number.
I know. I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Look, quid pro quo.
It's you can be the divorce attorney, and then you can't give her your number as a hitting on her, but you can give her a friend's number.
Yeah. Like, this is crazy. We just happen to be at the same bar. What the hell?
What?
Wow.
And I know this really good guy.
Exit stage left.
I know this really good guy that I think you'd be perfect for. What does he do? He's a attorney and
a podcaster.
Very successful podcast. Very, very successful.
It's the 4th most popular baseball podcast.
Yeah. All right. Angels F-.
Yep. F-. Couldn't agree more.
They just suck.
Yeah, they just suck.
They do nothing good ever. Like, they haven't done anything good since I can't remember when. Not in my lifetime.
Not in my lifetime either. No playoff appearances with Trout and Ohtani. That's still going to continue.
Criminal.
Well, no playoff appearances with Trout and Ohtani, and Trout has only seen the playoffs, I think, once.
Once. Yeah, for one game series too.
Yep.
All right, so moving on to the AL East.
NL East.
NL East, sorry. NL East. Phillies, is there any other grade that you can give other than an A+?
Nope, not at all.
They should have whatever the highest grade is. They're the valedictorian of MLB right now.
Yep.
They are doing everything well.
Only team in the league with a 700 win percentage.
They've done everything well. They're 31-13. They're 8-2 in their last 10. I mean, the only nitpick that I could even put at them is Taijuan Walker should not be starting.
No,
and
I agree with that.
The bullpen has a few question marks, and not like big time question marks.
Yes. Sir Anthony, I know I've had my gripes with, but since he faced the Angels, I saw the stat today. Since he faced the Angels, he has not given up an earned run, and opponents are batting .118 against him. Yeah. So maybe he figured something out, and I hope he did. And it's like the bullpen, when it was ranked first in all of baseball, I was like, don't love that because it always means bad things. And since then, they've been nothing short of electric. Matt Strahm has been incredible. Soto's been iffy. Orion Kerkering has been nasty. And I mean, I love watching them every night. I know I'm not trying to put anyone down, so I'm just going to leave it at that. We got a 3-game lead against the Braves right now, so and everyone keeps commenting.
At least one of us likes to watch our team.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, you like watching the Orioles, so. But
It's true. I have one
I
of
mean,
the 3 teams that I root for that I can watch.
yeah, and like with everyone, like I constantly see the damn argument. Oh well, their strength of schedule sucks. It's like the Braves'
Shit.
strength of schedule was terrible last year. It was awful, and they were like, "Oh, why are you guys complaining about the strength of schedule?" It's like you're doing the same thing this year. Like,
Yeah.
you can either give it and take it, or you can't. Like,
People are being hypocritical, that's for sure.
yeah, and it's like, look, so the Dodgers, who are behind us right now in terms of wins
Record.
and losses,
Yeah.
like they just allowed Logan Webb to go 6 shutout innings against them. Logan Webb threw
Which I
98
needed
pitches and
that.
didn't make it out of the 4th against the Phillies. And I know that pissed you off, but it was like
Yeah.
the Phillies are like, they're not seeing bums on the mound all the time. They're
No.
seeing Logan Webb. They're seeing Jose Barrios, and they're chasing them so early. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like it's the mainstream media right now is kind of disrespecting the Phillies a little bit in the fact that they're not blowing the Phillies as much as they should be. They're blowing the Dodgers like crazy. Like they absolutely will not stop sucking off the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But the Phillies are doing it. Like they're like the best team in baseball for a reason. And offensively and defensively, one of the best teams in baseball. Like there's like I said, I can't nick. They're the valedictorian of this year so far.
You've got like people are like, oh well, look how many runs the Dodgers have scored. They lead the league in batting average. All of that. It's like, yeah, and the Phillies are second in batting average, and the Dodgers have scored 237 runs, allowed 156. The Phillies have scored 232 runs and allowed 160. What, you're telling me that's enough of a difference to be like, oh, the Dodgers are so damn good? It's I'm not saying the Dodgers aren't good, but where's our respect? Like
the Phillies have the 3rd best OPS in baseball and the 4th best ERA in baseball right now.
That's
that
elite.
Sums it up.
That's elite on every level. Like, and we were just talking about the Mariners, 6th best ERA, dreadful OPS. I mean, like, yes, it's improving, but it's like if you have both, you're immediately elite, and there's nothing anyone can do to say against that.
That's So, like I said, valedictorian. Then moving on to the Braves, I'm going with a C-.
I was gonna give them like a B-, maybe a C, just because, like, yes, they're like, all right. Can you give them like a pass because Strider's hurt? Sure, but it's like their offense is just not there.
That's the reason I'm giving them a C- is because their guys that are supposed to be guys are not doing it. Michael Harris second, 686 OPS.
Yeah.
Ozzie Albies 762 OPS. Matt Olson 724 OPS. Adam Duvall, which I mean, kind of. 645 OPS. Orlando Arcia 686 OPS. Jared Kelenic 676 OPS. Like none of and that's not even. I haven't even gotten Acuna yet, who is not doing well either. He wasn't in that lineup.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, they're so like, yes,
Acuna, 696 OPS.
It's like, yes, they'll get going eventually, sure, but right now they're not.
They're not right now. No, they're not. That's why I'm giving them a C-, because also last year they were the world beaters that they were. They won over 100 games.
They had the best offense in baseball history.
They had the best offense in baseball history, and right now they are 6th in OPS in baseball, which is still good. But like I just went over the guys that were the reason they were the best offense in baseball last year, and none of them, not a single one of them is banging right now. I know Matt Olson hit a couple home runs recently, but overall, like, not been great. I mean, and then their pitching staff is good as well. I mean, 636, so they're good, but they're not performing to expectations. Exactly. That's why I'm giving them a C-.
Yeah, I could give them a C. Like, it's just like, considering losing Strider, they haven't been bad.
No,
but it's like,
but that's one guy.
Look, man. Yeah, and like the thing is, best offense in baseball history. The Phillies have 232 runs scored, and you have 193. You haven't cracked 200 yet, and like you might in the next couple games. But you were the best offense in baseball history last year.
Yep.
The fact that it's not there right now, you're like, ugh.
I mean, and I'm not saying that like they're going to not make the playoffs, whatever. No, they will. They'll make the playoffs.
They will.
Like,
they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they very well could win the division still. Like, very well could.
No, absolutely. It's still on the table.
Yeah. Now, Nationals, I'm going to give them a B.
Yeah, I give them B too. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
you
going
know
B.
what? Like I said,
They're
they're
not
pesky.
terrible.
They're
They're
not
pesky.
terrible. They're
They're
pesky.
third in the division, 20-22, 10 games back, which like
Yeah,
minus the Phillies and the Braves, you weren't going to do anything. -10 run differential. So I mean, like for what we expected, I mean they were expected to be terrible. They were
yeah.
expected to be. I mean,
I think
I
I
don't
had them in.
remember.
No, you know what? Actually, I think I
I
did
think I
have them
had
in
them in
third.
fifth. I think
I
I had
think I
them in
had them in
fifth.
third, and I think I
I think
had.
you're right.
I
I think you
actually,
did.
I think I had them in third because I expected the Mets to be bad. I did.
You had Braves, Phillies, Nationals, Mets, exactly how it is right now. Well,
Yeah.
except for
Well,
Braves and Phillies flopped.
Phillies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
But
you had
I mean,
you had common sense at the beginning of the year. I really thought you were going to go some stupid shit and say the Phillies were going to win the division.
no, and
And
I mean, like, I'll buy into that when it gets late in the season. But right
I agree.
now, it's like I'm
I
just
agree.
enjoying the ride so far.
Yes.
And it's been fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, Nats get a B. I got nothing really else to say
Yeah.
about them. Their commentary team sucks, but
Yeah, true. I mean, C.J. Abrams and getting it done. Who's their pitcher? Williams, Tanner Williams, Trevor Williams,
Trevor
Tanner
Williams.
Williams,
Trevor Williams has been very
That's what I
good.
thought. He's
Yeah.
been extremely good. I don't know why I thought he was or Tanner Williams. I feel
mean,
like there
it's
was
just
a Tanner.
another T name.
Yeah. He's got a 1.94 ERA right now, and Kyle Finnegan has been their closer, who's been pretty lights out. Also,
I do think they end up trading Hunter Harvey at the deadline, and I kind of hope
Yeah,
the
I agree.
Phillies pick him up.
Yeah.
It would be another weapon at the end of the bullpen, so I would take it.
I'm gonna go D minus.
I'll do the same. I was originally going to give them like a C, but then I watched them this series, and I was like, this Mets
They're
team
bad.
is really bad.
They're bad, really bad. Overall, they're 19-23, and the reason I go with a D minus is because apparently their broadcasters still have faith in them. And
yeah,
I'm gonna shut down their faith. No, they're not making the fucking playoffs. Like I don't know how you thought they were gonna be competing with the Phillies and the Braves. You're insane if you looked at that.
When I heard that clip, I was like, who?
literally your owner said, "This is not our year. Next year's not our year." This was last year when they traded. They traded Scherzer.
He replied to a tweet last night and said, "Not much we can do until the trade deadline. We're looking to the future." And I was like,
"Yeah,
oh,
and he's not wrong." Like Steve Cohen,
forgot to sign into the burner.
Yeah, Steve Cohen. Like I like Steve as an owner. I think what he tried to do was he thought it would be easy to just buy a championship, and quickly realized you can't do that. Like baseball is one of those in my opinion, one of the only sports where you really cannot do that. I think if basketball didn't have a salary cap, if football didn't have a salary cap, you could buy a championship. Like, if baseball is one of those ones where, I mean, we just talked about the Rays being devil magic for fucking a decade, and they're one of the lowest in payroll.
You can pay, but you have to spend smartly.
Yeah,
and
you have to do what the Dodgers have done.
They haven't done that, so
yeah. Marlins, toilet.
If I could give them an F triple minus,
yeah.
Because now they have the worst record in baseball.
Yeah, 13-32. Dear God, like they're just bad. There's nothing good about them.
They have zero redeemable qualities.
The one thing that they've done that was good for them this year was trade Luis Arias.
Yep.
Like literally the only they suck.
It was mostly because of the names they got back.
Yeah. Okay. NL West. Dodgers. I'll give them an A.
Yeah, I'll give them an A.
To begin the season, I was giving them like a C because they just were not the world beaters. In fact, I think when we did this episode originally, I gave them a C because like they just weren't the world beaters that was expected to be. But now they're kind of getting there. I didn't give them an A plus because they're not the Phillies. And this is what was expected. I mean, it was expected for them to just beat everybody in that division.
Yeah,
like
I mean, this entire division is pretty like uniform. I have all right, I'll just run through my grades real quick and see if you disagree. Stop.
Gotcha. Will do.
Dodgers at an A, Padres at a C plus, D-backs at a C, Giants at a C, Rockies at a D.
I'm going to disagree with the Giants at a C. I'm going to put them at a C minus just because
that's fair.
They spent some money. They were expected to be better than they are and to be competing for that wild card spot. Right now, they're not. They're 20-25, 9 games back with a -46 run differential. And the Colorado Rockies, remember how I said there was that shocking one that I wanted to get to?
Yeah.
They're the one that shocked me, shockingly enough.
What do you
In
got?
OPS, they're 16th in baseball. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you
good
gave
for
them a
you,
D, and
Rockies.
I'm not disagreeing with you. They're definitely a D. But they are 7-3 in their last 10. So I
I
mean,
mean, I think they're on a
the
7-game win
Rangers.
streak. Yeah, they're
They
on a
swept the
7-game win
Rangers.
streak.
Yeah. So I'll still give them a D. They're not an F because they've got some promise, I guess.
I mean, they do have some young pieces that are pretty good. So
Yeah.
whatever. Like, good for them. But yeah, I can agree with the Giants being a C minus as well. It's just like this division is kind of like the three in the middle. You can't give any of them higher than a C.
Yeah. I agree.
And yeah,
The only way that any of them were getting higher than a C were if they were clearly better than the other three, and they just haven't been.
yeah.
The Brewers, I give them an A because I expected them to suck, and they're in first in the division. The
I give them
offense
an
is
A.
hitting. I can't.
I think
mean,
they're
I
top
hate
three
it,
in OPS.
but they are not. No,
Okay.
they are. I'm sorry, they are second in OPS.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Christian Yelich has been on a tear again. William Contreras has been on a tear.
Reese just hit the IL with a hamstring strain, so that might cause some problems. But
overall, I mean, they've been solid. They've been
Yeah.
very solid, shockingly solid. And what's crazy to me is that the way they've consistently got it done before this year was with their pitching staff being absolutely lights out, and their pitching they're 14th in ERA right now. So they're getting it done in a way that I've never seen the
Brew
Brewers
Crew
get it
hasn't
done.
ever been like this. But I mean, good for them.
Yeah. Cubs.
What do you got for the Cubs?
You go ahead, and I'm not going to object.
I gave them a B plus.
Yeah.
Like I gave them a B plus. Like they've been solid. They're getting Steele back. I mean,
and even with getting Steele back, they're 11th in baseball in ERA right now. Just getting Steele back. Shota has been absolutely fucking electric.
Yeah, he might win Cy Young.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like they've been good, but like I mean, it's not like blow your socks off great.
No,
but no, like this is kind of what I think was expected of the Cubs.
Yeah.
Especially with the way they went about the offseason. So B plus. They've been very good. But
they've been good. They're competing to possibly get a wild card spot. Now for the Pittsburgh Pirates, I'm gonna go with a D.
I'm gonna go with a D as well.
I'm not going with an F because like there's at least some. I mean, Jared Jones is the only reason they're not getting an F, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Other than that, it's been kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
And they also could have gotten an F because of what Chapman did to his mother. That
could
have also gotten them an F.
That would have been fair. I wouldn't have argued with that one.
Reds. And the Reds, I'm going to give an F plus.
Yeah, I was flirting with a D minus F or F there because it's like 2-8 in your last 10. Lodolo just hit the IL. I mean, you only have a -3 run differential, but with Lodolo out, that's probably going to flip. It's going to get worse. They've just
and then
they
their
came back
offense
to
is
reality.
Not hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came back to reality, but like as hot of a start as like set. Yeah. 658 OPS, which is 25th in baseball. I think at batting average, they're second to last in batting average in all of baseball. So I mean, they've been bad for a team that actually had a little bit of promise going into the season. And
I think a lot of people
everyone thought that the Central was going to be a 5-team race. A lot of people had them picked to win the division, I remember.
Yeah.
And like I said, at first beginning of the season, it looked like a 5-team race, and Pittsburgh was the question mark on that 5-team race. And they haven't been. Pittsburgh, I mean, they're not competing for the division by any means. No. But they've been Pittsburghing.
Yes. No,
Cardinals.
You take it.
I remember I'm going to go with an F minus, and then for the fan base, an F minus because fuck you all. Like,
he gave fan base you're expelled.
Wishy-wash of expelled, yes. The constant wishy-wash of just we suck so bad that like blah 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 things need to be changed. Then we win 2 games against the Angels. And everyone's like, we're back. No, we're not. We're not.
No.
Because we just lost to the Angels last night, and that's a team that we should sweep.
Yep.
Yeah, F minus. The only two good things on the team it blows my mind that we're going to have 2 All-Stars in a Cardinals uniform with Sonny Gray and Ryan Helsley.
Yep.
Minus that, everything has been bad.
Yeah.
And also, minus that and Wilson Contreras, who is currently broken arm. So.
Yep. So
yeah,
they have the
there's
least
nothing
runs
good about
scored
this team.
in the entire National League. 155.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I believe they also have the least home runs in baseball currently. They do. They tied for the least home runs in baseball with the Chicago White Sox, who are actively trying not to win baseball games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, Bill
Rough.
DeWitt said if you
Absolutely
come
rough.
you're going to find out who the real fans are. You're going to find out what an empty stadium looks like, buddy.
I hope get ready to learn Japanese, Bill.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have the same grade. And that's the quarter grades for every team in baseball. You got any final thoughts?
The quarter quell.
Yeah, the quarter quell.
Go Baltimore Orioles, because I can't cheer for any other team. In
Play
fact,
the song.
I'm gonna give us a clap for us doing the quarter quell. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. I know we're great. I get it.
Yeah,
I would listen to us too.
We're a beloved podcast.
All right. Well, long episode as usual.
Standard.
Sign out. Follow
God,
on Instagram at the Baseball Diaries, Twitter at the BB Diaries. Follow the Say No to Walks account on Twitter. Listen to the other podcast. I can't think of the name right now. Birds or something. We just lost. Hey, this is a new one. We haven't lost him like this in a while. Follow, like, and subscribe on YouTube at the Baseball Diaries pod, and listen to the other podcast that I can't think of the name of it right now. Why is there a picture of a guy laying in a trash can? Go ahead.
Where? It's Birds Blues
Say No to
Brews.
Walks. Yeah, listen to that one as well. Oh, it's a guy sleeping on a. Is it the Say No to Walks picture for the group chat?
Oh, that's
on Twitter.
That's whatever. What's the Yankees GM's name?
Oh,
I don't remember.
My God.
How's the owner? How's the Yankees GM?
Brian Cashman. There we go.
Cashman. Yeah, it's Cashman taking a nap in the street.
Brian Cashman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's fitting for New York. All right.
Yeah.
Well, later, everybody.
Peace out.